Every one of us carries two versions inside. One is weak, doubtful, chained by fear and excuses. The other is powerful, disciplined, and capable of greatness. The reason most people never reach their full potential is simple: they refuse to kill the weaker version of themselves. They negotiate with it, they protect it, they hide behind it. But if you truly want to become unstoppable, you must destroy the old you completely. The old you thrives on fear, excuses, and comfort. That version of yourself whispers that you are not ready, that the timing is not right, that perhaps tomorrow will be better. It convinces you to wait, to hesitate, to pause just long enough for opportunities to pass you by. It feeds on your doubts and grows stronger every time you choose safety over risk, every time you choose rest over work, every time you choose silence instead of speaking up. That old you is not just a habit, it is a prison. And as long as you let it live, it will keep you locked inside the same patterns that have always held you back. Fear is its favorite weapon. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being judged. How many times have you had an idea, a dream, a goal, but you froze because fear whispered, "What if you failed? What if they laugh? What if you're not good enough?" That is the old you speaking. And every time you listen, every time you obey, you feed that old self. Fear becomes the leash that keeps you from running free. Fear keeps you trapped in a cycle where you play small, where you live beneath your potential, where you never test the true limits of your strength. Then come the excuses. The old you is a master of them. I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't know where to start. I'll do it later. Excuses sound reasonable. They sound protective. They even sound smart. But what they really are is poison. Excuses steal your momentum. They rob your energy. They blind you from the truth that progress is always possible if you take action. Every excuse is a brick, and those bricks build the wall that stands between you and the person you could be. The old you builds that wall higher every single day, and the more you accept those excuses, the more trapped you become behind it. And then there is comfort. Comfort is the old you's most seductive trap. It lulls you into routines that feel safe, predictable, easy. It gives you the illusion of peace, but in reality, it robs you of growth. Because comfort never challenges you, comfort never forces you to stretch, comfort never demands that you rise higher. Comfort convinces you that where you are is good enough, even when you know deep inside that you are capable of so much more. Comfort is the silent killer of dreams, and it is the reason so many people settle for mediocrity instead of chasing greatness. When you combine fear, excuses, and comfort, the result is a version of yourself that is weak, stagnant, and unfulfilled. That old you will do everything in its power to survive because it knows the moment you choose courage over fear, action over excuses, and discipline over comfort, its life is over. It will fight to stay alive. It will whisper louder. It will tempt you harder. It will remind you of every failure, every weakness, every mistake. But you must understand that the old you is not your protector. It is your enemy. It does not keep you safe, it keeps you small. It does not care about your future. It only cares about survival. And the longer you keep feeding it, the more it will rob you of the life you are meant to live. To truly move forward, you must first recognize the voice of the old you and call it out for what it is: a liar, a manipulator, a thief. You must be ruthless in cutting it off, because transformation does not begin with adding new habits. It begins with killing the old ones. The old you thrives only as long as you allow it. The moment you stop giving it power, the moment you stop listening, the moment you stop choosing fear, excuses, and comfort, that old version begins to wither. And only then can the stronger, unstoppable you take its place. You cannot negotiate with weakness. You must kill it completely. Weakness is not something you can compromise with. It is not something you can manage or balance. The moment you try to bargain with it, you are already giving it life, giving it permission to remain in your system. And once it takes root, It grows stronger every single day. Weakness is deceptive. It will disguise itself as self-care, as taking it easy, as being realistic. It will whisper that you deserve to rest, that you have done enough, that no one is perfect. And while those words may sound kind, they are actually poison. They are the chains that keep you tied to mediocrity, the handcuffs that stop you from reaching your highest potential. Negotiation sounds safe because it feels like you are still in control. You tell yourself you will be disciplined, but only on weekdays. You say you will stay committed, but allow yourself a little break here and there. You promise yourself you will face your fears, but only when the timing feels right. This is negotiation, and negotiation is the trap. Because weakness does not compromise in good faith. Every time you give it an inch, it takes a mile. Every time you tell it, just this once, it hears forever. Weakness thrives in the spaces you allow it to exist, and it will use every opportunity to expand until it dominates every decision you make. That is why weakness cannot be managed. It must be eliminated. You cannot coexist with it. You cannot give it half of your life and expect the other half to rise. The stronger version of yourself cannot breathe as long as weakness has oxygen. To become unstoppable, you must starve it. You must deny it. You must kill it so completely that there is no chance for it to resurrect itself again. This means no more excuses, no more delayed starts, no more lowering of standards. This means you stop giving weakness a seat at your table, a voice in your head, or a moment in your day. Think about what happens when someone negotiates with weakness. They plan to wake up early, but when the alarm rings, weakness says, sleep a little longer. You need it. They plan to work on their goals, but weakness says, do it tomorrow. You're too tired right now. They plan to confront their fears, but weakness says, wait until you're more prepared. And because they listened, because they gave weakness that power, another day is lost, then another, until months and years pass, and they look back realizing nothing changed. Negotiation with weakness always ends the same way, with regret. The reason you must kill it completely is because weakness is patient. It does not need to win big battles. It wins in small ones. It wins in every skipped workout, every broken promise, every wasted hour. It wins silently, without noise, without resistance, because most people never even notice it taking over. They think they are making choices, when in reality weakness is making the choices for them. And the longer you let it live, the harder it becomes to fight, because it grows stronger, more persuasive, more deeply ingrained in your habits and identity. Killing weakness is not about aggression toward yourself. It is about clarity. It is about drawing a line so sharp that there is no room for confusion. Either you are committed or you are not. Either you are disciplined or you are not. Either you are building the unstoppable you or you are feeding the old one. There is no middle ground. Weakness only survives in the middle ground. It only survives where there is hesitation, where there is compromise, where there is room for negotiation. But when you cut off all negotiations, when you refuse to let it speak, when you silence its voice entirely, weakness dies. That is the only way transformation begins. By refusing to entertain its arguments, by refusing to hear its excuses, by refusing to let it influence your actions, even for a single moment. Weakness will scream when you try to kill it. It will claw, it will fight, it will try to convince you that you need it, that you cannot live without it. But that is the illusion. You do not need it. You never did. The only way forward is to starve it, silence it, and destroy it completely so that the stronger, unstoppable you can finally rise without resistance. Growth only